Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Road Andy channel. We're not decking around the garage. We're not going for a ride. We're actually going to do a review video for Dale with Open Road Outfitters on the wiring harness that we purchased for the bunkhouse camper that goes on the bike. I emailed him a couple of times. One thing, I don't have it with me, or I'd show you guys. I did show it. It'll be on an upcoming video on my Decking Around the Garage series. And that's where we go through the full harness build. We go through the installation. And it's, in my opinion, pretty detailed. And hopefully it'll provide you guys with information before you decide to make a purchase, or maybe this video will. I'm going to just get this out of the way right now. I'm not leaving any links in the description box. I would not purchase this harness. Again, it's not that I wouldn't purchase products off of Dale with Open Road Outfitters. From what I've seen in my dealings with him, he is a stand-up guy who stands behind what he sells and what he deals with. That being said, he's selling a harness for somebody. Now, when it comes to the harness itself, the first thing that just drives me absolutely mad and nuts about it is they cannot stick to the industry standard of color code. Okay. When it comes to wiring for trailers, you have brown, black, which are your marker and tail lights. You have yellow, which should be your left turn. If you're running a 4-pin, it'll also be your left brake light. Green would be your right turn and your right brake light. And blue is an auxiliary. Red should be for brake lights, theoretically, and white should be your ground. That is pretty much the industry standard, be it small trailers that you pull with pickup trucks, or even with what like I do, where you have the 7 ways with semi trucks. You've got black and brown are for your markers and taillights. Blue's your auxiliary, which runs your ABS. There's no need for a blue on something like this for a motorcycle harness. They could do away with the auxiliary wire and blue wire altogether. Really, on a 5-pin connector, all they need is your black or brown wire for your marker lights. You need your left turn signal wire, which should be yellow, your green turn signal wire, your green wire, which should be for your right turn signal, a brake light, and white should be your ground. You don't need much else coming off of the CAN bus and off of the isolator. I understand when it comes to the CAN bus and the isolator and all that stuff, things get a little more complicated. I'm not going to take the time to dive into that. That is, it's something it's something simple, but at the same time, it's complicated. It'd be hard to put it in words to help folks understand it. Essentially, with the electronics that are on vehicles, not just motorcycles, but vehicles, and the way they've come on motorcycles, with your modules and all that stuff, you have to have protection. And that's essentially what the CAN bus and isolator does. So if something happens to short out on your trailer, instead of shorting everything out on the bike and then sending a voltage spike or something back to a module and causing even more issues and a larger expense for the bike, it isolates it. It's protection. So it's designed to stop it. Is it foolproof? Probably not. But it's a safety measure. Now, some problems that I had with the harness was I understood Dale's instructions, and he's flat out honest about it. It's not color code. You're going to have to test the wires and find out what's what and wire it up accordingly. And I think that's why they don't put the 5 pin connector on it, because they let you wire it up for your trailer. Well, whoever's making the harness, go by trailer industry standards. Color code it from there. And then the other thing is, take time, do a little bit of R&D. Whoever's making the harness, reach out to folks like myself. I'd be more than happy to work with somebody to come up with something more simple for people. But you need to have a place to mount it instead of just saying, yeah, it'll mount anywhere. Because no, it won't. My bike in particular is a 2019 Road Glide Ultra. I thought I was buying, I may be wrong. I had made the harness that I bought work because it said it would work with the bike. And the instructions and even Dale's videos, which were very informative, say to plug it into the black connector underneath the seat by the BCM. Well, lights won't work from there on the Ultras or on the Trikes because you're adding to it, and that is actually before the bike's CAN bus system for the lights. So it won't work. You have to go behind the seat under the tour pack on the Ultras. I don't know what's different about the specials and why it works there. I don't have a special. But I know on the Ultras and on the Trikes, it won't work. So on the Ultras, if you're using the Y plug, you have to, even using like my filler panel lights, I had to go back there. That's part of how I found this out with my bike. You have to go back there. So you're trying to fit all these big plugs and stuff, which I understand that. You have to be mindful as to what you're putting on your bike and how much stuff you put on your bike because you're limited for space. That being said, when it comes to the CAN bus module and the isolator, they've kind of they've designed it to be universal, but in my opinion, it's not really universal because you can't mount it anywhere. I was trying to mount everything off the back of the bike and tuck the CAN bus and the isolator underneath my backrest bracket. But when I went to do that, the Y connector wouldn't work because they don't give you enough length of wiring. And essentially what I had to do, and this will be in the upcoming videos, what I had to do was I had to lengthen their harness. So I had to come off of my CAN bus and isolator to run to the Y connector with extra wire so I can make everything fit neatly. And they don't wrap anything up in wire loom when they send it to you. You have to splice the harness together. That's probably the biggest thing that I will say that I do not like about it. I don't care for splicing harnesses. I understand sometimes you run into a situation where you have no other choice in the matter. And you can splice harnesses several different ways. We get into that in some of my upcoming videos. But in order to, in my opinion, sell a product for the money that they are asking, I think this thing is like 100 and what did I pay? What was it? 150, 160 bucks, somewhere around there. I'll look it up and I'll put the price up here in the corner, and it's a little pop up as to what I paid for the 5-pin connector wiring harness. Now, most of that money is probably wrapped up in the CAN bus and everything. The wiring that they give you is of good quality. I'll say the fusible link portion that they give you, the coating on the wiring is not so good. I think I had another one laying around that I ended up using instead of using that one. but I didn't care for it. But that's me. I've seen too much stuff over the years. Uh, I just I can't believe that they can't come up with a better system than to splice a brand new harness together. Whereas you can buy Deutsch connectors, which are a common connector on Harley. There are several common connectors, weather pack connectors, and they could put the pins themselves on the wiring and then give you the plug so you can pin it out. They could give you both the plugs so you could pin it out yourself. Then you have a nice sealed connector. And if you have to, you can take it apart. On the Y splitter that plugs in to the back on mine, they give you just a little round male and female that plug in together, and they're trying to say that's weatherproof. It's not. It's not sealed. It's got a slide on it that slides up and in, and I cut them off and soldered everything together. But there is a lot of room for improvement, and I'm not trying to bash it or anything like that. I know it probably sounds like that. I'm honestly not. I'm just, for the money that they are asking for this harness, man, I couldn't do it again. I would have to do some further research and see if there's somebody out there that makes a better harness that you don't have to splice together. Does it work? Yeah, it works. It serves its purpose. Would it be great for somebody who was going to take it off and put it on? Probably. That's not my case. I don't like to put stuff on, take it off, put stuff off, and take it off, especially not wiring. Something that should be put on the bike and done. That's why you'll see the way we did it in the upcoming video. Everything is permanent. I mean, I can take it off, but it's fixed. It's out of the way. It's all done up nice and neat. But I know Dale had wanted me to do a product review online, and I told him that I had YouTube videos that were coming out. He wanted a link to it. So before those videos come out and he sees them, because I'll share those links with him as he requested, I wanted to go ahead and do this video and just clarify that in those videos, I may be expressing some frustration with being a consumer and paying probably a fair market value for something that uh, did not meet my expectations. It could be of better quality, and at the same time, I don't know who's making these things for you or where you're getting them from, Dale. The CAN bus and isolator system is awesome. I get that, I understand that, but they have seriously got to do something about the color coding, and they need to spend some time with the bikes that they're selling these things for or making them for and come up with a more direct approach or route of how they would prefer for somebody to wire this thing in, where they would suggest exactly the CAN bus and isolator. And I know in some of Dale's videos that he's done, he shows you a couple of different places, but that's also with being able to run the Y connector up there by the BCM, which I can't do. So they need to spend a little more time wiring these things up, installing them, and routing them to make them look neater. So you don't have wires going places. They're going to cause future problems. I did mine to where I don't believe I will have any issues with it. I hope I don't. And I sealed everything up myself. I just the time that it took me to do that for what I paid for that harness, it shouldn't have. Um, and I, I want to clarify, it's not that I would not buy something off Open Road Outfitters. It's I would not purchase this product. And again, Open Road Outfitters does not make this product. He just sells it. So that's my thoughts. That's my review. And thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys thought. And if you guys are pulling campers and stuff like that, what are you doing for harnesses? Share that in the comments below. We'll see y'all on the next one.